Well, I'd say the first point is that the dialogue has to be open and active. I mean, again, this posturing or stance of, my door's open but nobody's knocking on it, their door's open but nobody's knocking on it. It just seems like, we're in these two isolated places and nobody's talking to one another. So first of all, and I think the city council most recently has kind of voiced its opinion that they believe this
Absolutely.
dialogue needs to be, energized, and something needs to be going on, and it needs to be out in the open. I think one of the other unfortunate things that people have a memory about is, we talked a little bit earlier about the first plan to move the stadium to the Al Lang area and the
Yes, sir.
waterfront. And a lot of the opposition and the voices against that, I think, were motivated by the fact that stuff went on behind closed doors. All of a sudden, this plan was announced, and nobody knew anything about how it came about, and there was this secrecy and
No transparency.
no transparency. And I think people were skeptical and suspicious. How did that all happen when we didn't know what was going on?
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, you have architectural drawings and everything. And that's the reason why transparency and openness is so important, because if you're going to get the confidence of the community, it needs to be out in the open so everybody knows what's going on. There's no skepticism about, who's scratching whose back and who's getting what out of
We
this
can band
deal.
together as a community.
Yeah, and so that we're all in it together. So I think that's first, is active discussions and open discussions. Number two, I think we need to do a better job of identifying what it is that the value that the Rays bring to St. Petersburg. I think we need to communicate and inform the people about the importance of the economic benefits that having the Rays here brings to the city. Jobs, people coming over to games, people coming from New York, Boston, Baltimore, Toronto, staying in hotels, eating at restaurants. And we need to try and define that so that people can see there's an economic benefit. And thirdly, I think, again, we shouldn't be defensive about this. We should feel good about St. Petersburg and the reason that St. Petersburg is the best place for them to play. We should feel good about the courage and leadership that our city showed back in the 80s to go get this team. It wasn't Tampa that went and stuck their necks out. It was leaders from St. Petersburg and people in St. Petersburg who have invested and made this the place for Major League Baseball. So I think we need to be positive about it, and we need to feel good about it, and we need to believe that the Rays are going to understand those same advantages and attributes, and hopefully, the Rays will be here when my great grandchildren are growing up.
My hope is the same. Well,
Okay.
Charlie, thank you so much for spending the time with us. If you would like to, just go ahead and tell our viewers, wrap it up for them.
Thanks. I've promised that I'm going to be the most accessible and responsive city council person from District 1. I will always be available to talk to and share my ideas. I don't claim to be the smartest guy in the world, but I do believe that communicating and sharing ideas and getting the best input from all sides of a situation is the best way to come up with solutions that benefit everybody. And I hope that you'll feel free to contact me on this issue or any other issue. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you for your time.
Not a problem.